But we're all about standards and values here at Smacking Off.
I'm the greatest smack talker on the fucking face of the earth right now.
You're just jealous of my shine.
Dane's in there tripping on acid, man. This is going to be a great episode.
I try to do my part, guys. SEC player of the year, bro. Come on, dude. That's like being the smartest kid in your special ed class. Don't nobody take that seriously.
Are you pooping?
I believe that's what they call
You're
it.
pooping. I don't hear pee sounds, dude. You're making...
Those Iowa beats so bad, damn brains out.
No, USC is far better than Oklahoma historically.
Don't be ridiculous right now.
You fucking talk
What the fuck are you saying about the SEC there?
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
Your meatloaf is moist with my pussy again.
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still going to have it.
Smacking Off the podcast.
Bro, I'm gonna be a SoundCloud rapper, bro.
That is the best thing you've ever said on this show. And welcome back to Smacking Off the podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. How you doing, Doug?
Great.
Good. You enjoying the summer weather?
Enjoying the rain.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It sucks. It sucks balls. There's been absolutely no football to talk about, except for the Clemson player in the car. Remember there's something floating around on social media about a Clemson player and a very, very expensive, what is that, a Lamborghini or some kind of...
That was Teague.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me go ahead and, since you've already spoiled the surprise, thank you very much.
Sorry.
We are joined with our lovely ladies over there at our, we know each other all over the Facebook football groups. Just about, I don't know, I think we share just about every single one. We need to go over the list sometime. Yeah. Kimberly Butts Teague, how you doing?
I'm awesome tonight. How are you?
I don't know.
Hanging good?
I have not had my coffee yet. I had to work late. Came in a huff, and the coffee's brewing, and we got to do the damn thing. I mean, this is we're actually getting started a lot later than we normally get started.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to be able to, because what is that? Shit, money. Yeah.
You got another guess.
Gotta have lots and lots of money. Oh, hey, Andrea. What's
You
up?
need nourishment. I run one intro and I get a, oh, hey, Andrea.
Yes, because you ruined the intro.
Can't even pronounce your name right.
That's how that works here at Smacking Off the podcast. Yeah, this is my fucking chocolate factory. So it's best that you just dance along and hum along with the Oompa Loompas.
We're just lucky we got the golden ticket, right?
Eat you a marshmallow egg off the big giant tree next to the chocolate river.
Smack Jesus. Smack Jesus.
Very pleased with Smack Jesus, Russ Mostert. He has done an absolutely fantastic job of keeping me entertained. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've had some fun listening.
Well, he's got people that probably wouldn't be in the group that are asking to join now.
Yeah.
To see what the hell Russ is doing over there.
He has kind of created a very interesting dilemma because he got booted from SEC SMACK, which I think is pretty much a rite of passage. I'm just kind of waiting for the axe to fall for me now. I'm pretty sure it's coming any day now.
Why?
I don't know. That's just the way they roll over there. And really, you're not one of the cool kids unless you get at least booted or some sort of, admonishment at some point in time. And I've definitely ruffled a lot of feathers over there for whatever reason.
Well, I guess we're cool kids then, because we had our moment. You've been booted twice.
There ain't no, hey.
You get booted? Whoa. Hey, wait a minute. Now, Kimberly has been booted from SEC SMACK twice?
Yes.
Really? For what?
She's a rule breaker.
What? No.
No, not really.
No. Well, what did I get booted for the first time?
Do you?
I don't remember.
No, everybody's supposed to remember your first time you get booted from SMACK.
I know why she got booted. I'm just not sure she really actually wants to talk about it.
Hell yeah, she wants to talk about it.
With Jasmine. Blurred lines.
Oh, yeah, blurred lines. Yeah.
Blurred
anyway.
lines. What the fuck? No. Let's hit pause for a second and let me explain what's going on here.
Oh, wait, okay.
This is my fucking chocolate factory. So when I tell you kids to dance, you get up, you start doing a fucking jig.
Well, you offered candy to fat kids. What were you thinking?
I know. I don't have any coffee in me right now, so I'm not really thinking much. All right, let's hear this story because you're not wiggling out of this. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
You know how you're not supposed to do stuff from group to group.
Yeah.
Well, someone was various ones were
just fucking spell it out. Come on, just tell me what it is. You can't just like dangle it over my head.
Well, I mean, really,
try to carefully pick your words.
Kind of a weird situation.
It was actually weird.
They were.
That's what I'm all about. I want some
bringing
weird
stuff over from one group to another into SEC, and pictures and whatnot from another group, and I asked the question about, is this allowed? If and a statement was made by the person that they were doing it to that said, she said blurred lines, and the head man said, I'll show you blurred lines, and I got thrown out in the wayside because I went on a fake cruise with somebody.
Wow.
This way. So, but I mean, it was a misunderstanding. So it was, like I said, I was just asking a question.
Yeah, and again, I don't know. I understand why you want to be protective about some things, but I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Admins on a power trip are like one of my biggest pet peeves.
Our second time was for, they thought we were poaching members.
Yeah, that's exactly what they got me for.
Yeah. Doug is still banned and probably will be banned for, I don't know, for forever. Who knows?
Really, it happened after come into familySMACK. And I think he thought that it was growing a little fast, and there's just no way that, this could be happening without mining members from SEC SMACK.
If anybody gets added to my private page, my personal Facebook account, that means I kind of know you, or we've had some sort of interaction. I keep mine pretty tight. If I had actually answered every single friend request with a yes, I would have been at, what is the max, 5,000? Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, long before I started doing this, through the anti-media stuff.
Yeah, that I'm in the same boat as you. I only did if I've actually interacted with them, and we have to have a certain number of mutual friends.
I want to be fair here, though. All of us are having a conversation about SEC SMACK. Damn good group. That's just the point I'm making. I mean, damn good group. Damn good bunch of people. I love David Marshall. We actually even dedicated a episode to him. So,
yep.
Oh, that's where I stand.
And I
just everybody wish. I just wish they would just lighten up a little bit.
I wasn't butthurt over it or going to cry about it.
Yeah, once they have seriously, once they have somebody that's been in there for a while and they kind of know that they're not in there trying to really intentionally stir up trouble, which I do intentionally stir up trouble. I don't, whatever.
Yes, you do.
But I try to use my powers for good instead of evil.
You're good at stirring the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Bobby the Brain Heenan was one of my all-time heroes. The Brain.
The Weasel.
Yeah. I loved him, man. Him and Gorilla Monsoon. That was a fucking hell of a...
So this Jeremy Vantrease and Smack Jesus drama. Have y'all been keeping up with this?
Speaking of...
yes, we have.
SEC SMACK, Jeremy is I believe he's Evolved for Life. So he's a member of the dark, the orange inner circle there.
So if we say too much about him, DM may send people...
North Knox represent.
Yeah. They may send people down here, yeah.
Wearing orange bandanas over their face. Yeah. It got really quiet.
But yeah, come on, guys.
No,
we're not messing with y'all.
Y'all are in fucking North Carolina. Y'all are not North Knox hard. I mean, y'all are Tennessee fans.
You know why they got quiet?
Why?
Because they've already been contacted about making the run down here.
That's right.
Are y'all in the North Knox group?
Answering text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever heard of the podcast Smacking Off?
Yeah, they're making trouble for us.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, I actually was just thought it was funny that this inner circle group of VFL has over 70,000 people in it on Facebook alone. So I thought that was interesting, that just your word choice. That's why I was silent for a minute. I was thinking about it because guess who's not in there?
Really?
Really?
You're not Evolved for Life?
I am too. I have
You guys are Tennessee fans. There's a page with almost 100,000 members in it.
Kimberly's in it.
No, she's not.
No, I'm not.
Oh, really?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
okay.
when we got
Solidarity
booted
now.
and banned from SEC, we got booted and banned from Ball for Life too.
Well, it's the same thing that happened.
Well,
to
you can't be a real Tennessee fan if you're not an SEC SMAC, so, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, I love SEC SMAC. I liked the Ball for Life group too. I think they're funny. They have their points, but you'll notice I'm not like I'll go in and I'll comment and I'll throw shade sometimes, but I don't really participate in there. I don't get all the clicks.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they go back so many years, it's just impossible.
Right.
So I don't get it, and so I just wade in every now and then and wade back out. So
Yeah.
kind of like you're tied, huh?
It really.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, that was a nice circle around back there, Andrea. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's good at that. Well, I'm a history buff, so I enjoy researching and looking back at past stuff, and I enjoy watching petty drama stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us back to the Whack Jesus or Smack Jesus and
Smack
Vantrease.
Jesus. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy
Oh.
Vantrease.
Hey, you, come here. If you don't have worn-out shoes properly repaired, no one's going to like you. And no one's going to listen to you. You won't get a good job. You won't make any money. You won't have a nice marriage. And you'll have no sex. Because when your shoes look like shit, you look like shit. Huh?
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team. Yeah, I think it's been a really strange history too, because they have gone back and forth, and there's been several threads that I could have swore that they were like buddies that lived down the road from each other that were trolling each other online.
Right.
That there's no way that two guys, but no, it was, and I don't know, I just never really considered it. I never really thought about it until we added Jeremy to our group, FamilySMACK. And all hell broke loose because we added Smack Jesus as an admin, which, you know, I think you probably should put, when I say that word admin in production, go back and put like thunder and lightning and
Administrator.
for a few minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't think admin means what you think it means.
Well, no, it really, I mean, you know, all of these things really don't matter at the end of the day. I mean, this is just a little game that we play. You know, this is like The Sims.
Yeah.
You know, but Russ did kind of create a little bit of a situation though, and I guess it's a fair conversation to ask. I mean, you know, as far as white folks using the term, well, you know, the N word with the A at the end of it instead of a N word with hard R. And how one is somehow more acceptable than the other.
But why is that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of asking the question.
Vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's it's 2018. I've always, I don't know. As I've come up and as I've grown older and actually have friends that are of color. I got plenty of.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Oh my gosh! Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
It's the cliche.
That was the most. You might be an albino that was so white. As I have friends of, you know, people who are of color.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Anyways, okay. Now that we've outed me as a hood-wearing racist.
I mean, your fridge is white, but other than that, I don't know.
My fridge is white because I'm poor.
I know. That also
Well, that's
fits
what
the
Lou was trying to
demographic.
point out.
Yeah.
Lou was trying to point out that only Po folks have white refrigerators.
Yeah.
Well, you know. So I used to have a white refrigerator up until last year. So now that I have a stainless one, I'm big time now.
Your
I didn't
fridge
know
is
that.
sweet. I have to say this.
We're not having this. Hey, we're not having this conversation.
They're trying to
right
have
now.
a
We're
very
done.
The last time
legitimate conversation.
Oh, yeah, there's
about
okay.
This
race
conversation
conversations.
was over when it
We're
like
talking
started.
about
Actually,
hard R's and A's.
yes. Thank you. Let's get back on. Let's get back on
Vocabulary. Let's
topic.
go back to our
Okay.
vocabulary lesson.
So I've got plenty of black friends, and they all say, pretty much, don't ever say that word to me ever in any shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
And again, you hang around with a lot of different people, and kind of make it a practice of trying to get outside of your little echo chamber.
Right.
You get to kind of get to know people, I encourage a lot of people listening to make a friend who's an Arab or a friend who actually is a practicing Muslim.
Yes.
You just, the perspective that we have as Americans, especially with all the different military campaigns we've had over there for what's been a perpetual war for the past almost 30 years now in that region. And suddenly now, the word Arab and the word Muslim, particularly in football smack rooms, is used as a slur.
Right.
But if you make some Indian, Arab, lots of different people that are from other parts of the world, or you make friends with them, you get to realize that at the end of the day, people are people. They have the same needs, wants, desires, and yada, yada, yada that you do. So what makes them any worse than you are, or because they happen to have been unfortunate enough to have been born in this patch of dirt instead of this patch of dirt?
If I'm not mistaken, Russ has claimed that he is African American. Am I right on that?
What?
Yes.
Is he really?
Shut the hell up.
He really has claimed that.
No.
We need his 23andMe.
No.
Or whatever that Ancestry.com.
No, what is, yeah.
He has claimed that he has African American in him.
We all do. Okay, fine.
Now, I can't testify that he actually does. He doesn't.
I don't know. That's usually when somebody gets called out, I don't know. That's just,
for using the hard R?
No, he just used a soft A.
No, he used an A.
He used a soft A. And that's kind of where the point that I was making is that, it is a strange conversation as white folks to be having about something that pisses off in any shape, form, or fashion whatsoever, because, they're still kind of a little pissy about what happened slavery days on up until the 50s and 60s, and dogs and garden hoses and bathrooms out back and so on and so forth. And if you go back and read the Constitution, they kind of got slighted a bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. So, having said all that, I just don't understand why people still insist or think it's still cool, I guess, to try to use something that they know is going to piss off people, And what's even worse is that when you have, I don't know. I don't want to go there with it. I think.
Where are you going?
No, I'm not going there with it.
It's too late.
It's my
You're in your chocolate
Do
factory.
me
This is my chocolate factory and not yours.
Do you want me to cut to a General Electric commercial?
Absolutely.
Introducing the GE Takeout Counter. It lets you have instant access to something as large as a gallon of milk. Provides enough counter space to make a
nice
two-foot
sandwich.
But perhaps its most incredible feature is that each one comes with 25 cubic
She has
feet of the most
this 2-foot long
intelligently designed
sandwich.
refrigerator.
There's no way I
And
could have got
extra
that
charge.
sandwich in my refrigerator.
The GE Space Center 25.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're back.
And we're back on Smacking Off, the podcast. We're talking to Andrea Charles about a 2-foot sandwich.
We like snacks. That's
Yeah.
why we're in the groups,
That had kind of a Cowboy Adam
It's
feel
all
to
the
it.
sandwiches.
So how's this Vantrease Russ thing going to play out?
I don't know. I hope that it is a perpetual war. I hope that it continues on and on and on. But I don't know. Jeremy did lose a little bit of. He lost a couple notches today. Now, I don't know how.
Today? What did he do today?
No, it's not what he did today. It's the fact that he kind of came in from out of nowhere on familySMACK, the group that he was really, really, really upset about being added to in that private message that he had sent to me. when I apologized for adding him to a group that, without his permission, yada, yada, this, that, and the other. I don't know. I'd interacted with him on SEC SMACK. We were Facebook friends, and I figured he'd enjoy the place. And he didn't. Yeah, go back and check it out. Are we going to?
Oh, no, I saw the message. I just didn't. All of the context, like all of these groups, is so inbred. I don't quite get it. So I don't know where Vantrease and Russ started out. So they started out feuding in.
Oh yeah,
they've SEC.
Russ has been referring to Jeremy as his child for quite some time now, and really he is. Right. That the whole entire, shtick that he does with Jeremy has been going on for quite some time, and apparently it has affected Jeremy a lot more than we thought it did. Because when I saw the message, because I thought Jeremy was a pretty, thick-skinned dude, and when he sent me that message, I was blown the fuck away. And even nice and apologetic at the end of it. I know everybody's scurrying right now to grab their tablets and pulling it up real quick to read it.
I'm not. I'm just going to take your word for it.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
I'll post it in the
I'm getting chat. Where I actually like to watch the drama.
I love it.
I don't like to get involved in the drama because, you just get people lose their fucking minds.
None of this shit really matters, though. That's why I don't give a fuck.
That does. Why do people get so, sensitive and personal over stuff? It's Facebook and it's Sports Smack and... Okay, so you call me a cunt bitch. I don't care. I know who I am.
Right, and the whole familySMACK thing.
Go ahead.
Are you indeed a cunt bitch?
I have my moments, sure.
I'm asking a question. I'm not making any indictment on your character whatsoever.
That's what intrigues.
I own it. I definitely can be a cunt bitch sometimes, for sure.
I'm just asking questions here. That's my job here on Smacking Off.
But that's what really intrigued me about the whole familySMACK thing and why we actually created a group called familySMACK.
Yeah, because we don't give a fuck, really.
And it's I could never understand why, somebody say something about somebody's grandmother, and these people have never met each other, right? Grandmother, mom, I don't know, doesn't know any of their family.
Right.
And then people are losing their fucking mind over it. And I'm like, you can say anything about any of my family because you don't know them. It's not a real person.
Actually, though, my friend Keith had a really good observation about that. He said he doesn't think that it's not funny. He said he's just not in the headspace to participate in that because his mom is going through a battle with cancer. And so some of these things hit him differently, and he doesn't have a full understanding of when they're going to hit him like that. And so I can get that, but most of this familySMACK is completely ridiculous. And I agree 100% with what you're saying.
Right.
I don't get it either. It's like you've drawn a line. Okay, well, I'm not going to be triggered, but if you say this, I am. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
It's a fun fashion sensation. The incredible I'm in the Mood shirt. Perfect for today's lifestyle. It's fun. Goes where you go. The Mood applique actually changes color responding to your mood, your hidden emotions. Black, you are tense. Green, you are more relaxed. And finally, the most desired shade of violet blue. You are in the mood, a fun part of your life. The In the Mood shirt comes in a complete range of sizes and colors. In the Mood shirts, available at leading stores everywhere.
Please visit smackingoff.com for all of your smacking off needs.
This segment is brought to you by familySMACK. Fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, and fuck your entire family.
It's a completely artificial boundary. So
if you said my mama's fat and a whore, then I'm gonna get mad. Which you guys know that I'm not going to do that. So, but yeah, people get really.
I mean, because again, your mama is fat and she's a whore. I mean, it's the truth is the truth.
Right. Well, you had to bring your mom up, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we're going to have to hear about Philip Fulmer.
No,
yeah, we
we're
are.
not gonna have to no, see.
Kimberly's mama blew
go there.
Philip Fulmer back in the day, from what we understand, from what sources, which they're damn good sources, have told me. Because Kimberly, you told me the story, and I had to do some research, and we're going to play some audio later on of Philip Fulmer describing in great detail what happened that night. Your mom is a nasty, nasty, nasty individual.
Where do you think she learned it?
Who you talking about, Kimberly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me.
Your mom taught you that stuff? Wow.
It's, that and sandwich making.
And she learned it, from my grandmother, who happens to also be Keith Fletcher's mother. So, boom. There you go. It's a whole 100%.
That is Keith Fletcher. So this is Andrea's good friend, Keith Fletcher. She's brought him up a couple times. Is there?
That's not the same Keith.
Oh, so there's more. Keith. There's more Keiths in your life.
Yes, I have a type, and their type is.
Is that your? Yeah, your type is Keith. What is Keith? Does Keith have a mustache? I'm not saying. I'm not just talking about like a specific Keith. I'm just talking about Keith the concept.
Yeah, I have to have a full beard and mustache, right?
I didn't say beard. I just said mustache. So that's your
because I think your two Keiths in your life do not.
I know.
Neither one of them have. So Keith, if you're listening, please start growing facial hair right now. There is a chance that it may have some lady parts sitting on it at some point in time. We just need to get that carpet going.
Now Keith Fletcher is follicularly challenged, so I don't think he can grow a beard or mustache. So you're gonna have to find you a new Keith.
Oh, you talking about like he had to change?
No, he went bald.
It's 2018. People do things. I mean, shit. I'm not making any assumptions about his character or who he is as a human being by asking if he now has a vagina and titties. Because
he doesn't.
Because I still think you can still have a vagina and titties and grow a beard.
Yes, you can.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, I've seen one in a drag show, actually, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, they can.
But were they real titties, or were they just...
No, they were still kind of...
No, but they were like...
Real, 100% real deal.
Hey, look, now, wait a minute. Real, let me clarify real quick. Because real titties are titties that I can grab.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That are attached,
titties attached to a beard.
It doesn't matter. Just titties attached to a person, like permanently attached, like they ain't going nowhere. Take the shirt off and bounce them around, and damn, those are titties.
Okay.
Yeah,
my bad.
I roll like that.
She had those, and she had a change and had a vagine.
A vagine and a beard. That's a hell of a statement right here.
Mm-hmm. And it was actually weirdly attractive. It was just odd. Anyway.
This is the kind of quality broadcasting that you pay for
I'm
here
telling you.
at Smacking Off, the podcast.
I'm actually sad.
Refrigerators
Satcom.
How did I never see this?
What?
I swear.
What? Well, see what? What are you talking about?
I've never seen a bearded lady...
transvestite?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what to call that.
What else do you do on the internet other than Facebook? I mean...
Me?
Yeah, you're supposed to be looking for like all the weird shit in life that you'd always thought about and heard about, but could never quite,
Okay.
Oh, see, I saw this in person at Scorpios in Charlotte.
See, there you go.
It's Queen City, after all.
Yeah, Andrea, you need to get out of the house more. You need to get out of the house, or you need to explore the rest of the internet, because there's some really dank ass shit there.
No, I'm busy avoiding Riverdale and watching Supernatural.
What?
I know.
Gay.
I don't have any life.
Gay. Well,
this has been a fun segment.
No, it just kind of went downhill. Like just zoom downhill real quick with a reference of Supernatural. God, that show.
You know what? You can kiss my ass.
I know. My girlfriend's into it. I'm forced to like hear it in the other room because I won't be privy to that. I try not to rot my mind out with garbage.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, that was a lie. I just lied so bad. We're actually watching, what is this, the Foot Fist Way right now.
Yep.
Jody Hill and Danny McBride are like, that is a match made in heaven. I'm a big Jody Hill fan as far as directors go. Observe and Report, Seth Rogen film by the Mall Cop. Oh, my God, it's one of my favorites. That was filmed in Conway, not too far from you.
Oh, interesting.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yep.
I am too. So we're scrapping this whole segment, right?
No, we're using it, but we are fixing to have to let y'all go and move on to a nerd segment. We're gonna fuss with some guys over 2013.
Well,
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Speaking of supernatural dramas, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Smack Jesus and Vantrease.
I think Vantrease should be out of the group before the end of the night. I'm sure there's not really much else left. I mean, Russ can boot him at any time. I think that's.
But why?
I think
would
that's.
he?
And that's what I'm saying. I think that's a testament. All I'm saying is that's a testament to how strong Russ's resolve is, and I think that is a testament to his true
Russ
feelings.
is an idiot. Why do you? Okay, I get that you like him, and that's fine. I like me, and I'm an idiot too. But Russ is an idiot, and I don't find his smack very appealing. Now, don't get me wrong. The eating the corn video that Vantrease did, that wasn't very entertaining either.
No, that was stupid. And that's why I took that screenshot off there and gave it to Russ. I mean, I've fueled this fire a little bit myself as of late.
You like fanning the fire
because I'm fucking bored. I mean,
stirring the pot. Yes, you do.
It's just it's more of our entertainment.
Right. See, we don't have to go out to the other side of the internet. We just follow you and watch whatever you're doing because it's usually going to create like a storm of just disruption everywhere.
Why do you think Doug's got me on this show?
I thought it was your dulcet sound.
Doug's been watching that shit for what? How long's that show been going on now?
You talking about the Shannon show?
Yeah, 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We have had some crazy times.
You should have a show about that. Bye.
No.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
We're not doing that.
No, you can't hang up that fast.
Yeah.
Shit.
Bye.
I mean,
we appreciate time.
Well, no, come on. Don't prove that you can. She's
Thank
gone.
you in advance for having us.
I bet we can hang up before you can.
We're very polite.
Thank you in advance for having y'all the next time we have you on.
Yes.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that's kind of.
We're bringing Andrea on.
Y'all are going to be on a lot more than you realize.
Yeah, Andrea's coming. Sorry, Andrea. Andrea is coming.
Andrea.
No, it's Andrea. Sorry.
Or you can just give in and call me Andy, which is a lot easier to remember.
Oh my God, Andy!
You're definitely going to be on one of the.
Whoa! Back up! Let's talk about Andy for a minute. Hi, Andy.
No, Shannon. No.
What? Come on.
She puts on the sexy nun habit and becomes Andy. Mm-hmm.
Man, hang this shit up. I'm done.
I am the White Jeebus! How dare you kick me out of SEC Smack? Don't you know who I am? I am the White Jeebus! I am the White Jeebus! You kicked me out of SEC Smack because you can't handle my smack. I am the White Jeebus! I'm the only person in the history of smack groups that can out-smack everybody just by telling them that I can out-smack them. I am the White Jeebus! You ever wondered what it would look like if a Lincoln Log had sex with a Minecraft character? I am the White Jeebus! My head has more right angles than a 9th grade geometry book. I am the White Jeebus! You just couldn't handle my smack. I have the best smack because I tell you I have the best smack. I am the White Jeebus! It's the only smack I need. The only smack I have is telling you that my smack is better than your smack. I am the White Jeebus! I am the White Jeebus! I am the White Jeebus! I am the White Jeebus!
Clip supplied by Uncle Lou. Search for Uncle Lou and subscribe to his channel now. You dirty bitch.
A dog can get mighty hungry when he doesn't get his chuck wagon, because dogs love the soft meat-like chunks, the brown crunchy bits, the rich broth chuck wagon makes when you add warm water.
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenShannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
CFP Retrodiction for 2013 is brought to you by Uncle Harvey's Tree Service. Your trees don't stand a chance. And by Doyle Hargrave Construction.
See, I work construction. I build things. Do you understand how important that is to the world?
And also by familySMACK. Fuck your mama. I did.
Seymour batted that ball in the air, and Cash picked it off, and Cashman is brought down by Jim Weingartner. Well, that'll be all for the Irish this afternoon as Southern Cal takes over, and there's 35 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock.
CFP Retrodiction. Welcome Sean Devine, Tim Bailey, and Sean Vergowven.
Started on this. We're going to go ahead and use the seating that Kyle is not with us tonight, and I'm sure y'all all seen that he had to bail on this one. But we're going to go ahead and use the seating that we come up with, which was Florida State was 1, Auburn was 2, Michigan State ended up 3, and Alabama was 4.
That sounds about right.
And that would put Alabama and Florida State in a semi, which is probably not what the Money Masters would have wanted, but I don't know if they could have avoided it.
I don't think there's any way that they could justify, like, moving Alabama up like they did Ohio State a few years ago, because, like, the champion was from the champions that were in there weren't from the Pac. It was.
No, they would have dropped Alabama to 5 and moved Stanford to 4.
Yeah, I don't see that there'd be any way for them to bump Alabama. Like Ohio State in 2015, they bumped them, or 2016, they bumped them for their win at Oklahoma, and also the fact that the loss to Penn State was really fluky. But I don't think Alabama had anything that could have.
Well, it also Penn State had 2 losses that year as the Big Ten champion. So technically, Ohio State had only 1 loss, and they were the highest rated Big Ten team. So that's why they got in.
That's why they got in. But I'm saying they didn't come in at number 4. They got to jump Washington because of the merits of what they've done during the season.
Right, and you could say that Ohio State with that win over Oklahoma, who was the Big 12 champion, was like the pseudo Big 12 champion, was filling that spot.
If the committee was doing it, they would have just left Alabama out, and they probably would have bumped Stanford up to
Stanford
4.
had 2 losses that year, right?
No, they had 1 going into the postseason.
Who was their loss to? What did their schedule look like? Let me look.
Their 1 loss. Fuck. I want to say it was like Arizona or some shit.
Maybe Oregon.
Could have been.
Did they win in
2013? No.
Yeah. They beat us. They beat Notre Dame.
3 losses at the end of the year, so they wouldn't have gotten it.
They had 3 losses at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Well, they had 2 losses in the regular season. And
they lost at USC.
I was only tracking they only had 1.
They lost at UConn and at USC. They lost good games. They were a good team. They just,
Yeah, but with 2 losses, they're not getting in.
Yeah, they're not getting in, especially over.
Yeah, I thought they only had 1.
No, I think Alabama gets in.
Who was it? What was wasn't Baylor right there?
Baylor would have been 5, but the way they lost to Oklahoma State, like, it wasn't who they lost to, it was how they lost that game. They got spanked like 49-17.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was in November.
Yeah, and Alabama's loss was a freak loss on a miracle play.
Yeah, on the road too.
At Jordan Hare, of course, at Jordan Hare.
In what right now has been the most relevant rivalry for the last decade, at least.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that I'm good with that 4. The seeding kind of sucks because really I think you'd have the two best teams playing in the semifinal there.
Right, and that's where it kind of stinks. Where you on one hand, you're putting in the best 4 teams, but you have to seed based on merit. Because, for example, like we know this last year, obviously Clemson was not. I don't know that many people besides people at ESPN who I think are trying to have somebody when Alabama goes away finally thought that Clemson deserved to be number 1 going into last year.
Yeah,
but allegedly, they had more merits than the other teams did, which I don't agree with, anyways. But they seed on merit.
That Syracuse loss was ugly.
Who really had a better? Who really? Put it this way: the same story goes for why Alabama's always ranked number 1. You have to beat the reigning champ to dethrone them. Someone beat them, but then immediately lost the next week. So I mean, it's like who really did deserve to be number 1 if it wasn't the reigning champ? When everything is on par and everybody has 1 loss, the reigning champ still takes precedence.
Yes, it's the Buster Douglas thing.
To like strength of schedule and things like that. But even with that argument, Florida State then should have been number 1 in 2014 if you're using that logic, anyways. But the committee doesn't use that logic because I mean, Florida State won 26 games in a row and they were the number 3 seed. They weren't fooled by Florida State's. But anyway.
Their unbeaten schedule in 14 was smoke and mirrors. They survived a hell of a lot of games. I think, they went to the wire against Boston College.
They went to the wire every week. It was like the LSU in 2007, except they won all the games.
Yep.
And then they were soundly destroyed by Oregon in that Rose Bowl.
They were.
Yeah, because Winston pulled a 5-interception game.
Ultimately, Fisher didn't know how to coach that team because that team was still more talented than the field, in my opinion, that year. But he didn't know how to coach that team out of. The first game that they did that in was the national championship, and they got away with it, and then they just did it until they couldn't anymore. I mean, that's literally what happened. Look at what happened. They played Auburn. They literally pretended not to be there for 2.5 for like almost 2 whole quarters, and then they ended up spanking Auburn the rest of the game, like 31-7 the rest of the way. Then they did that throughout the entire 2014 season, and then it caught up with them because you can't do that.
You can't do that against.
You can't do that when you get in the playoff, yeah, because every team generally in the playoff is pretty damn good.
Except for 2015 Michigan State.
I was thinking that. I didn't say it because of Sean being on the call. I didn't.
Hold on now.
Ruffle his feathers too much.
And
don't worry.
Oklahoma had a tough one too, but I mean, would beat Michigan State if they played them pretty bad.
2016 Ohio State is pretty close.
2016 Ohio State deserved to be there, though. They lost the game.
No, they didn't. What are you on fucking crack?
All right, let's have it. Let's get this shit going.
Now we got a conversation.
10 teams.
One second,
Like 4
guys.
top 10 teams is undeserving of being in the playoffs.
This segment is brought to you by FamilySMACK. Y'all go at it, guys.
2016 Ohio State did not. You can't say that Ohio State 2016 deserved to be there more than 2015 Michigan State. When 2016 Ohio State, they put it this way. It goes back to that whole argument of you have to win your conference to be in it. Mm-hmm. They were not a top 4 team, as evidenced by the fact they got fucking blanked by Clemson. All right, at least Michigan State won the fucking conference.
You mean I thought you were gonna say at least they won the coin toss against Alabama.
No, at least they won the conference.
Listen,
they might have won that coin toss, by the way.
Got stomped in the 2016 playoff game. I don't know how they got stomped because on paper that game should have been much better than it was. Obviously,
why Ohio State got stopped?
Well, it was because JT Barrett couldn't hit wide open receivers. That's how they got stomped. Deshaun Watson opened the game doing his normal throw a couple picks thing, so they should have taken advantage.
It's because at the end of the this is the reason. At the end of the day, Ohio State is a paper tiger. They are a very great team, but they do one of two things. They'll either maul their opponent or they'll crumble. As evidenced by, leading into this, the 2013 season. They got demolished by Michigan State in the Big Ten championship game and came out flat against Clemson, and Clemson destroyed them.
I'm pretty sure that game was like 49-56. I don't know if it was destroyed, but yeah, they did beat Ohio State. But I think that was one of the worst Ohio State teams in the last 10 years, besides the one that was like 6-7 or whatever the hell that team was. They were terrible. That team had zero defense at all. They had a defense probably worse than what Oklahoma had last year, and they just tried to outscore their opponents with Braxton Miller, who couldn't really throw. So, but regardless of that, Michigan State was good in 2013. They were better than Ohio State, and if the playoff existed, then they would have absolutely deserved a shot to be there. Their only loss was to Notre Dame, which is a rivalry game. So, I would definitely give them the benefit of the doubt and put them in.
Yeah, they did.
With the seeding of Florida State 1, Auburn 2, Michigan State 3, and Alabama 4, like we talked about before the call started, Michigan State absolutely makes that national title game. Hands down. They beat Auburn. It's not even a game, because Auburn lucked the fuck out that season. You needed a miracle catch in Georgia.
I do agree that Michigan State probably wins the game, but at the same time, though, I do not believe it would be a game that would have been a blowout, because even though Auburn did luck out a lot that season, they were unquestionably a talented team. But the thing that gives me a hard time thinking Auburn would beat Michigan State that year is the one thing. Michigan State was great that year because they were in the Big Ten, and what do the Big Ten teams do? They run the ball. And Michigan State was very good at stopping the run, and that's all Auburn could really do. They really couldn't throw unless they got a bunch of runs to the outside on. You watched the Alabama game, right? They just hurried up, ran a bunch of things to the outside, sweeps and bullshit. I don't think that would have worked on Michigan State.
Carl's Jr. Fuck you. I'm eating.
Visit our Facebook pages, Smacking Off the Podcast fan page and Smacking Off the Podcast group page, facebook.com/group/smackoff. Facebook.com/Smackologists.
I think it's a 3 or 6 point game, almost a coin flip, because, Notre Dame was not good this year, and we were able to stop in State, their offense. And Auburn had a much better defense than Notre Dame did that year. So, and I'm not sold on Connor Cook at all. It's Connor Cook.
I think Michigan State wins because of a combination of things. One, even though you just downed him a little bit, I think Connor Cook was a very good college quarterback, a good leader. And I do think that the Michigan State defense would have made it hard on Auburn because they were really one-dimensional.
Good leader. Wasn't he the guy that was the starter for 3 years that was never elected captain?
But that's not necessarily means that you're a bad leader. I mean, the player apparently. I mean, people said that he was good enough to be a captain. They just liked other guys. It happens.
I don't know. It's pretty rare when a quarterback is named a captain at least once in the 3 years he's a starter.
I know what you're saying. I get where you're coming from.
Something's fishy in England.
Either way, I think I agree. Michigan State would beat Auburn. Unless Auburn worked up a miracle, which they were good at that year. I do think Michigan State beats them.
They were very good at it, aka 2015 Michigan State. We won 3 games we had no business winning that year, and that's why we made it to the tournament. I mean the playoff.
All right. How about
I think Michigan State probably wins that game 27-23, something like that. Maybe even lower score. I don't know, 21.
I'm thinking
17.
16-10 or 16-13. Really low scoring.
I mean, at most, I think it's 21-7. That's probably the biggest differential. But yeah, it's not going much above that.
Yeah, because wasn't that Rose Bowl game they beat Stanford low scoring as well.
24-21.
24. Yeah, so somewhere in that ballpark or lower.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Connor Cook's biggest trait was that he could throw a pick and then immediately go out and lead an 80-yard drive fucking down the field and score a touchdown. He never got in his own head. That was it. That was his biggest saving graces. He could make the throws and he could immediately shake off the dumb shit, which he did every game.
Right, and I think
in that Rose Bowl, he threw 2 stupid picks and immediately led touchdown drives right after.
Yeah. So, it didn't hurt that the defense was usually there to bail them out and not give up much more than a field goal.
I mean, I think Connor Cook's greatest game was the Baylor game. You know, they were getting in that Cotton Bowl. They were getting their butts handed to them, and Connor Cook kind of single-handedly pulled them out of the water.
That was a hell of a game.
Absolutely. That game kind of solidified Connor Cook that following year.
I was higher on Connor Cook. Apparently, I was wrong.
We have Michigan State. We have Michigan State advancing over Auburn in the one semifinal. We have not discussed the Alabama-Florida State game.
Hey,
I think personally, I think
I
think that is probably the de facto national championship game because you have arguably two of the best teams playing in Alabama and Florida State.
It would have basically been similar to the Ohio State-Alabama was the de facto national championship game.
Michigan State has an outside chance to beat Florida State, in my opinion, but no chance to beat Alabama.
I don't think it's an outside chance. I think they stand a pretty good chance to beat that Florida State team, but I absolutely agree. I put it this way. I am under no delusions. The only way D'Antonio can win a national championship is if somehow he avoids fucking Alabama. Because he can't beat him. The way he has set up his team, it plays right into Alabama's strengths. Clemson beat Alabama because they've got the speedy guys. They're set up to beat Alabama.
Alabama doesn't do well with those mobile quarterbacks that can that can ad lib on their own.
If Oklahoma and Michigan State flop the seeds, which they should have, Michigan State, let's be honest, had no right to jump Oklahoma for. That was ridiculous. The week in
2015.
In 2015, the reason why Michigan State jumped Oklahoma, the real reason isn't because Michigan State beat Iowa. The real reason is because they didn't want Alabama to have to play Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. That's the real reason. But I think that if they flipped the matchups, that those two games would have been much better than the games that ended up happening. But we'll never know.
We'll never. But I think for 2013, Michigan State has a definitely a decent chance against Florida State because Winston was prone to making some errant throws, and Michigan State had a very good secondary that year. I think Darquez Denard was on that secondary, if I'm not mistaken.
Darquez Denard, Trey Waynes, Isaiah Lewis, and Curtis Drummond.
Yeah, I think that's a better matchup for Michigan State if Florida State does beat Alabama. If they don't, that wasn't McCarron. Who was the quarterback that year for Alabama?
McCarron.
2013.
Is that Coker?
No,
was it AJ McCarron?
Yeah, it was McCarron.
Yeah, well, it was AJ McCarron still. I don't think he makes the gamble kind of throw that Jameis Winston is prone to making against a good Michigan State secondary, and I think there's enough physicality on Alabama that they could win a low scoring game with Michigan State.
You have to trick AJ McCarron. You had to trick him with disguised coverages and blitzes and weird shit to get him to throw interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, and even then it was it's tough. Now, to be fair, Michigan State had a better kicker that year than Alabama, so I mean, Alabama would not want it to come down to a
I think typically most teams have a better kicker than Alabama.
Kickers, I'm pretty sure, I can name several FCS schools that had better kickers than Alabama, so let's just not even get into that. If it came down
to be fair, there's 4 of us on this call, and at least 3 of us are better than Alabama's current kicker.
Yeah, I can kick a 40-yard field goal.
I'm just writing Doug off because he's going to break a hip.
Well, but to be fair, we don't know that that's going to be the current kicker for next year.
Doug's going to break a hip.
What was his name? It was Cade Foster, right? He was
How old is Doug?
Also in the
You're pretty old.
Sean?
Alabama game too,
You're pretty old. You're older than
Vergowven's taking shots at poor Doug.
Vergowven, how old is Doug?
I have no idea. Rough estimate?
Yeah.
Probably 53.
Nope.
Holy shit!
Not quite.
I'm gonna say Doug is 42.
No.
I'm gonna say he's 29.
That's correct. That is correct.
No, I'm 47.
47.
Okay.
No, you're 53
so
now.
to say what Sean
But my hips are in fucking great shape.
Yeah, they are. You have really nice hips for a 47-year-old.
I could bear a child if I.
He had fluid hips. That's a great football term there. He's real fluid hips.
Mm-hmm.
Not something you want out of a kicker.
So so let's go ahead and bite the bullet and let's tackle this Alabama-Florida State dilemma.
I mean, I'm just because
I'm not picking
that
on this.
Florida State team had a very impressive offense. I'm going to give the edge to Florida State.
Okay. What's your score prediction?
I mean, it comes down to who has it last, and Winston pulls something out of his ass and scores a last-minute touchdown to win by 7. So
Okay.
probably 28-21.
Okay. Timothy.
I think that if people may not remember this very well, but the 2013 Alabama team had really serious depth and injury issues in both their secondary and linebacker going into bowl season that year.
Yep.
I honestly think that Florida State I'm not going to say scores at will, but I think Jameis Winston's a lot better than Trevor Knight. And I've got to say that I think that, who was their running back? It was Devontae Freeman, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And I just think that Florida State wins, and I think it's a score something insane like 42-38 or something like that.
Okay. Devine.
I think it's a high scoring game on both sides. I think even with the injuries and everything, Alabama's so deep they could, especially from the time between the end of the regular season and whenever the playoff would have been. I think Nick Saban figures out enough to cause enough problems for Jameis Winston. I think it's something like Alabama 38 and Florida State 34
line that year too.
Yeah, so I think Saban figured he's got enough days to prep the team. I think they went like 38-34, so I have Alabama winning. I'm not confident in Jameis Winston, having to make a lot of checks and reads that the wrinkles that Saban will throw at him in that type of scenario.
Well, Sean, you have Michigan State and Alabama in your national championship, so who do you have winning that?
I got a Michael Jordan MVP cup, a Michael's favorite burger from McDonald's. He's bound to let me play one-on-one.
Hurry into McDonald's today for Michael's favorite extra value meal, the Double Big Mac. And for 39 cents more, supersize it or any extra value meal for more fries and more drink. And get an MVP collector cup free.
Charles, you sitting here.
So what do you say?
Just this once.
What you want is what you get.
To my dear friend Charles.
At McDonald's today.
See, I work construction. I build things. Do you understand how important that is to the world?
Doyle Hargraves Construction.
Told you 3 times already. The law's on my side.
I would have Alabama winning that game.
What do you blowout?
No, I think it's close. I think it's something like 21-17 or 24-20. Something. It's a grinder game between D'Antonio and Saban and two good defenses.
Who's the Alabama quarterback that year? Was it McCarron?
Yes. It was McCarron.
AJ McCarron.
And they had Amari Cooper and Derrick Henry and TJ Yeldon.
Correct.
They didn't have Henry in 13.
They did.
Yeah, they
I
did.
remember Henry had like 200 total yards against Oklahoma in that Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, they did have Henry was there.
Was he a true freshman then?
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, cause I know he won the Heisman in 15, so.
Yep.
And then declared.
He was
wasn't he a redshirt freshman that year? He was either a true freshman or a redshirt freshman.
He was a true freshman.
Yeah, and he declared after
and
the 15 season.
He didn't play very much during the regular season, and then when he played in the Sugar Bowl, it kind of caught Oklahoma off guard, and he killed OU in those two or three plays.
Seeing that large of a man run that fast.
Wow. Yeah, I was like,
it's disturbing.
He had like an 80-yard touchdown reception in that game in the Sugar Bowl, and then also like a 50-yard touchdown run. He was a beast in that game.
He still is.
He's breaking Jacobs with real speed.
I haven't paid attention to him in the pros.
You better get him before he gets to the line of scrimmage, because once that size gets rolling.
Go watch the play where Aaron Colvin tries to take him down one-on-one.
Okay. Well, I mean, the other is just looking at when Mark Ingram came to do that coin toss. He's won a Heisman for Alabama. He's standing next to Henry, and he looks like a midget.
Okay, yeah, he does. He really does.
And Mark Ingram's not a small man. He's not.
No.
He's like,
but Derrick Henry's
like 230, right?
Derrick Henry's just such a big ass human being that it makes everybody look tiny.
Yep.
You know.
And Bama had a back before Henry that kind of looked like Henry. His physique.
Bo Scarborough.
No.
Trent Richardson.
Trent Richardson. Which he bombed in the pros, but he was a very strong runner.
I mean, to be fair, a majority of Alabama running backs bomb in the pros.
A lot of them have good couple years, and then they just like tank afterward. Like Richardson, he did that.
I mean, look at it this way. Me personally, I will never draft anybody from the Alabama. If I was an NFL team, I would never draft anybody from the Alabama backfield. I would just literally spend my entire first round capital trying to draft the offensive Alabama line, because all of us can run for 1,000 yards behind that line.
Their running backs are more successful than their offensive linemen. I don't know if you've actually looked into this, but their running backs are more successful than their offensive linemen. Remember the Kawanjo twins?
Yes, we do.
They're like 2 deep players in the NFL, even though they were high draft picks.
What happened to my favorite Alabama offensive lineman, Lester Cotton? Will he be drafted by anybody?
Lester Cotton. That's funny.
I love that name. I just love that name. And he had the body of a mauler too. He always had those arms and hands just taped and taped and taped.
Also, be fair to Alabama. I mean, they had Sean Alexander and Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram. Those guys are not scrubbed by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I mean certainly they're.
Mark Ingram really didn't do anything until last year when he had Alvin Kamara come on.
And if you want to go back a little further,
he was not a top 15 back.
Oh, he was top 15.
Top 15, yeah.
That's half the league.
Is he what he was supposed to be? No. But he's
very. Is anybody that gets drafted that high going to be what they're supposed to be? There's so much has been placed on that, and it's just it's absolutely freaking ridiculous.
And listen, Trent Richardson
and I point to the most
Eddie Lacy,
classic example here in the past few years, Johnny Manziel. And I know that's kind of a special exception, but I mean that's kind of
Johnny Man. Here's the problem. All right, since you brought him up, Johnny Manziel his entire Heisman campaign consists of 4 plays against Alabama. That is what it is. Other than that, it was Mike Evans should have won the Heisman instead of Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel's entire playbook was throw it up at Mike Evans.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel made some really, just very poor throwing choices that miraculously got turned into 50 and 60-yard plays throughout the whole entire season.
Is so naturally gifted at football. He won the Heisman because he's a naturally gifted football player. The problem is, in the NFL, you can't just be a naturally gifted football player. You have to play on script. You have to understand the X's and O's. You have to check defenses. You can't run around in circles and throw balls. Manziel was a great college quarterback, and he deserved to win the Heisman Trophy. Whether you like that or not,
I disagree.
Sick him, Sean.
Well, come on now.
I didn't believe Johnny Manziel needed to win it that year.
Come on, y'all give us some sound bites here.
And simply because who won all the other major awards that year? Who was the best player in college football? It's not sexy for ESPN to choose somebody other than a running back or a quarterback, but the player that won all the major awards that year was Manti Te'o. He was this absolutely freak linebacker in college football, and he basically was the catalyst to that 12-0 Notre Dame team.
He was great, and I accept that argument, but we all know that it's an offensive player award, whether we like it.
Yeah, because the defensive player is never going to win the Heisman.
Plus, I heard interception was his Heisman moment against Oklahoma, and it was fake. It was as fake as his girlfriend because he dropped the ball. The ball touched.
He did not. That was a catch, and Brent Musburger knows it, and I know it. You might not.
The American people know it.
Yeah.
The Heisman, the defensive player will never win the Heisman. Never has. Never will.
Are you counting Michigan's? Because they're calling him a defensive player, which I don't agree with. But
number one, Carl Woodson won that award because of his punt returning. If he doesn't return punts or kicks, his ass doesn't win that Heisman.
But if he only returns punts and kicks, he doesn't either.
Andy played receiver a little bit too that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he threw him out a couple, especially against Ohio State. I think he played a couple plays at receiver. But
he was the original. What were they calling that? The X back or what? No,
they call it the Viper, I think, or something.
I didn't realize
whatever the
how
hell it's
close
called.
Manti Te'o was to actually winning that award.
I mean, he was
realize
pretty
it was
damn close.
I thought he finished third behind Colin Klein. I didn't realize that he finished second and was only 300 points behind him.
Yeah. I mean, he basically was the heart and soul of that defense, and the defense was what carried us that year, not our offense, because we had a freshman quarterback starting all year.
Yeah. He was really good against Oklahoma. I remember that. Trust believe that. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, your quarterback's probably still feeling that hit he put on him.
All right, guys.
I mean, he came off the weak side and just, boom.
I was saying Everett Golson was great in that game, too. Notre Dame doesn't win that game without Everett Golson playing the way he did in that game.
Golson was very good, but the running attack was the key that year with Theo Riddick and Sierra Wood.
No, it was. And it was the key to that game. But Golson hit the shots he had to hit for them to win in Norman. He hit them. He had like a 70-yard touchdown pass and a bunch of key first down conversions because Notre Dame was in a lot of third and long.
We were all quite shocked by that because he hadn't played well at all up to that point.
Yeah,
the Michigan game, he wasn't good. The Purdue game, he wasn't good.
I didn't think Notre Dame had a real chance of winning that game in Norman. And Everett Golson, if he doesn't play the way he does, I don't think they could have won in Norman realistically. Although I didn't think Notre Dame would be able to stuff the bulldozer package the way they did either. That was crazy. Because no one could stop that. Notre Dame was the only team. Like, nobody could stop it for the whole 3 years it was happening.
You know,
Notre Dame.
I can use pieces of this conversation for a commercial for the 2012 Retrodiction segment.
Yeah,
it's true.
well, guys, I think I got enough here. But anyway, go ahead.
We didn't get Doug or Shannon's thoughts on the end of the 2013 Retrodiction. What did you gentlemen think?
I think it.
We also didn't decide the national championship.
I think the 2013 national championship already got decided. We're good.
20,000.
No, I mean if this actually happened.
Sean Vergowven, go ahead.
That already did.
You don't want
no, I mean if it was a CFP there.
I think it's going to be the same
who's
thing.
Michigan State playing in the national championship?
You picked
Alabama lost.
Florida State.
That was Auburn and Florida State played that year.
No, Alabama won, and as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
The way I remember the 2013 season is that because I watched all the Iron Bowl except for the very last minute and a half.
You had to leave.
Yeah, I had to leave, but the cable went out. So, but I knew we won. So, yeah, it was.
So you just remember it differently.
Alabama played the dog shit out of that national championship that year, from what I remember.
Right.
Yeah. So it worked out pretty good for us.
They claimed the title
Alabama
before the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that now. Yeah, that was the most, and I'm sorry for a fan base, that was the most demoralizing moment of that whole entire season. There were some ups and downs, a lot of ups for Alabama that year, but that one play right there sucked the absolute.
Look, in my 53 years. Sorry, 47 years. That's the worst. That's the worst feeling in my gut that I've ever had.
That was, and you know, for
now,
go ahead.
Shannon and Doug, let me ask this: is it because you knew it knocked Alabama out of the national title converssion, or is it because it happened against Auburn?
It happened against Auburn.
Would you have felt the same? Would you have felt the same way if Alabama was 8-2 or 8-3 going into that game?
Well, probably not, because again, there was a lot of
there's a lot riding on it.
Looking ahead. Yeah, looking ahead, we finally kind of almost were coming down to the very end of the game, and we know we pretty much got this one in the bag. Just come on, guys, don't drop a ball, don't fuck anything up. You know that.
I didn't feel that way at all, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, before that moment, no, I was like, okay, this will.
No, it was tied up.
Well, the kick, the fact that
I didn't. Here's the thing: when he lined up,
Alabama played their worst game for Auburn to even be in the game to begin with.
Yeah.
When Saban sent the kick team out on the field, I said, "This is fucked up. He should never do this." And I wasn't worried about a kick six. Sorry, I wasn't worried about it.
I was
being
wondering
returned.
why he
No,
wasn't
because
punting.
who the fuck is worried about a 109-yard return?
Right.
Nobody.
No, I was worried about it getting blocked because
Personally, if I'm Saban, I'm putting it in my offense's hand and just throw a fucking Hail Mary. Worst case scenario, it gets picked.
Right.
Isn't there this one
it's
guy
still
named
the end of the
Amari
game.
Cooper on that team too? I think this guy Amari Cooper. I've heard of him before. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
I never
Amari's
liked
all right.
trusting it. I think that was a 57-yard kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I don't care if you have.
Yeah,
unless
it was
you
ridiculous.
Unless you have
Yeah.
fucking Sebastian Janikowski,
Fucking kicker. Yeah.
or Adam Vinatieri. I mean, I don't. On the road against a rival with everything, the SEC championship, the national championship, right? I don't trust. I never.
Take a knee there than fucking.
I'd either take a knee and go into overtime, or I'd throw the Hail Mary.
Throw up a Hail Mary. The odds of a Hail Mary being returned for a touchdown, slim to fucking none. It just gets knocked down.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small smacking off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.